We continue with our discussion of 7 habits of highly narcissistic people. And what's the point here? The point is to understand narcissistic people. What does that do for us? It empowers us. It helps us to make good choices about what we're going to do and how we're going to interact with them going forward. Hello, I'm Dr. David Hawkins, Director of the Marriage Recovery Center and the Emotional Abuse Institute, where we specialize in all things pertaining to narcissism and emotional abuse. Let's do a quick recap of where we've been. We've talked about the first 5 traits of highly narcissistic people. What are they? Number 1, we said that they have a need to always be right, always rigidly be right. Number 2, they have an attitude of superiority. I've discovered this in every narcissistic person that I have treated, and that is an underlying attitude of superiority. They just think that they are a cut above everybody else. Trait number 3, they act like they shouldn't be challenged, and you have no right to challenge them. And they have the audacity to give us that impression. You have no right to challenge me. You actually do. Number 4, they act like they have the right to be hurtful. And so they are. They give themselves license. It's kind of incredible when you really unpack it, but they think they have the right to be hurtful. Trait number 5, they act dismissive because your opinions don't matter. Well, they do matter, actually, but to the highly narcissistic person, they don't matter. And now that brings us to trait number 6 of highly narcissistic people. They act like they don't need to hear what they don't want to hear. Now think about that for a minute. They act like they don't need to hear what they don't want to hear. And so you can hear how all of these traits overlap with one another, don't they? To create a pretty awful picture. But the highly narcissistic person acts like they don't need to hear what they don't want to hear. And so they don't listen well. They don't want to hear it. They just don't, and they may have the audacity to say that to you. I don't want to hear it. Or they say it in a certain way. Maybe they're defensive. They justify, rationalize, minimize. They don't want to hear it. And so you feel silenced. You feel pushed away. You feel less than with this individual who thinks, whether this is a workmate, whether this is a playmate, whether this is a boss, whether this is a marriage partner, they act like they're just a cut above and that they are entitled to act this way. Now, you can hear that this set of beliefs, it really is a set of beliefs. I'm often asked the question, are they trying to be this way? Well, I don't know so much if they're trying to be this way as much as I'm sure they're not trying to not be this way. Are they trying to be this way? Well, they're not trying to not be this way. And so all of these attitudes, the attitude of superiority, the attitude of dismissiveness, the attitude that they are right, and now they act like they don't need to hear what they don't want to hear. And so I often see narcissistic people as having Teflon. They have Teflon. You just can't reach them. They are oppositional, argumentative, they're withdrawn, whatever, but you cannot reach them. All right. If you are in a relationship of some kind with a highly narcissistic person. All of the strategies that I've been outlining for all of these different traits, it's kind of the same on this one too. I want to give you three main points. Number one, I want you to hold to your truths. You get to hold on to that. You get to hold on to what you think, what you believe, what you feel. It is true for you. I've called it self-validation in previous videos. Now I'm just giving it a different kind of name, and that is holding on to your truth, your truths. And number two, make your truths clear. Make it clear that you have these points of view. You have them. And that leads to point number three. You can let them know, you should let them know, they can disregard your truths. They don't have to hear what they don't want to hear. And you can say that to them. You don't have to hear this. But if you don't hear me, it will be at your own peril. Ooh, Dr. Hawkins, those are really strong words. Do you mean that? I really do mean it. You can let this person know, okay, I won't give you feedback. You don't want it. I won't give it to you. You don't want me to tell you what you don't want to hear. Okay, we can do that, but there will be consequences. Are you threatening me? Absolutely I am. For sure. For sure I am threatening you. Absolutely. You can shut me up, but it will have an impact on our relationship, whatever it is. Now, obviously, if it's a boss, you want to be careful in how you say this. If it's a friend, probably, no, you don't need to be too careful. If it's a partner, if it's a spouse, you're going to need to let them know in no uncertain terms. I won't tell you what you don't want to hear, but it will impact our relationship. Absolutely, it will. Well, what kind of threat is that? Well, I will be pulling back from you. I won't be sharing with you what's on my heart, what's on my mind. And you at some point in time, you will feel that. Now, you have to follow through with that, of course. So what are we doing here? We're letting people know, I hear you, I get what you're trying to do, but I want you to know about me. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's how this agreement will impact me and how it will impact us. Okay, I hope this has been helpful to you. I want to know what you think. Please send your feedback, your comments. How can this notion be improved upon? I am listening. I care. If you are interested in further services with us, please click on the link, contact our client care team. We'll help you get the treatment or the services that you need. All right. As always, take care and God bless.